Hello, first grade writers. I am excited to be here with you today, starting story number 2. We've been writing small moment stories that last 5 to 10 minutes long. And yesterday I had you look at your planner and figure out the next story that you wanted. My first story was about my headstand, and my next story that I decided to write about was when we had a flood in our basement. So hopefully yesterday you looked at this and you made your small moment planner. So you wrote down the characters, the setting, where and when, the main event, and then your ending. Because today what you're going to do is print off the book. You can either find it on the objectives page at the very top above the daily lessons, or you can find it on this slide by clicking on the picture to the right of my face and this video. My story was called The Water Attack. And if you notice, when I came up with my title over here, I just had basement flood. And on my brainstorming list from March 14th, I just had basement flood. But as I was thinking about what an interesting title for this book would be, I thought basement flood kind of sounds a little bit boring. By reading it right away, by reading that title, they already know kind of the main idea of my story. So I decided to make it a little bit more interesting, and I called it The Water Attack. So now you know that there's water, and by looking at my illustration, you can see that I'm going down the stairs and there's water on the ground, and there's me. I'm saying, oh no, but you don't know what happened. So sometimes it's important to come up with a title that doesn't exactly give away the main idea of your story. So today your job is going to be to come up with your title, to illustrate your front cover, and fill in the complete date. Today is April 29th, 2020, and you write your name there. Don't forget to put the comma after the 28, 29. I put a 28, but it's really the 29th today. Then you're going to write your beginning. So you're going to look at your planner, and you're not going to use this bottom part. You're just going to use this top part right here. So last week, I actually had you put a box around that top part with a highlighter. So if you want to, you could take a, let me go back. Take a highlighter and highlight all around this box here. And that lets you know that everything that's in that top rectangle, you need to include in your main sentences on your beginning page. Remember, our books have 3 pages. The first page is for the beginning. The second page is for the middle. And sometimes you have 2 pages for your middle. So sometimes you might not have only 3 pages. You might have 4, because the middle section might be 2 pages long, depending upon how many details you decide to include. So we're just going to do our beginning today. And remember, we're going to try to write in complete sentences. My lead tells the character and the setting. So in our lead, we're going to go back and we're going to start telling the characters and the setting. So here is mine. I started with a capital letter. It was a wet morning the last Friday of spring break. So I started by telling when it was. When it was the morning, it was a Friday, and it was spring break. So I actually gave a lot of details about when it was. Then I put my period. And then you'll notice that I had to do some editing here, because I started with we. And I wrote, we were just waking up after it rained all night long. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if my reader is going to know who we is. And then I thought, no, they're not going to know who we is just by this sentence. We could have been me and the dog. We could have been me and my girlfriends if I had a sleepover. We could have been me and my mom if I was sleeping at my mom's house, or my dad. So I decided to cross off we, and I wrote Jack, Bennett, Mr. Fitz, and I were just waking up after it rained all night long. So think about when you're writing your story to make sure that you include the actual names of the characters. Don't include pronouns like we, because we don't know who that is. So be very specific with your readers. If you look at my picture, you see that I have included lots of details. I'm in my bed there. I'm getting up and I'm doing my morning stretch. You look out my window here and you see the tree and the sun shining. And this is my dresser. And on my dresser, I put a clock that tells you what time I was waking up. So I even give more details about when. It wasn't the morning at 9 o'clock. It wasn't the morning at 10 o'clock. It was the morning at 7:31. And then there's a sign, there's a picture frame that hangs on my wall. I love you always, that hangs. So your job, boys and girls, is to do your title page today and write the beginning of your story. Try to give as many details as you can in your beginning. Remember, your beginning doesn't tell what happened in your story. Your beginning just sets the stage and helps the reader know where you are and who you're with. Tomorrow, we'll begin writing the middle of our story, and that's where we get to tell exactly what happened, the main idea in our story. All right, boys and girls, good luck writing. Please let me know if you have any questions. Make sure you're including capital letters, punctuation, and finger spacing so that a reader can read your story. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy writing.